Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Stamping A to Z. Today is definitely a happy Wednesday. Stampin' Up! Has 3 days of free shipping starting today. So if you have a wish list of things to get, the free shipping is for orders over $100. There's our new rewards system where you earn 10% on every order that you place, and you can put those credits towards future orders. There's the last chance items that I have showed some great deals over the last couple weeks. You can go into the last chance section and check it out. There's some really great deals to be had. They also just released today a sale for paper pumpkin refills and supplies. So if you're a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, you can have access to that. If you're not currently a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, you can subscribe for a Paper Pumpkin and have access to it. If you have any questions, you can always drop me a message. If you are watching, please say hi. Let me know where you're watching from. If you're watching the replay, let me know that you're watching the replay. If you're watching on YouTube, let me know that you're watching. And if you have comments or questions, I do try and check for comments as I go. So, yeah, I'm Linda Gibbs. I can't remember how I started. I got so excited about all the sales and, yeah. Oh, the other thing with the sale is, I can't remember if I mentioned it in my last couple. So in the new catalog coming up in May, cardstock prices are going way up, like big, almost $5 per pack. So if you have cardstock that you want to stock up on, today is a great time because it's still at the cheaper price, plus you get free shipping. So that's a 10% savings. If you're a demonstrator, you get extra savings. Hi, Linda. So yeah, stock up on whatever you need today or for the next 3 days, but it's always better the first day before things run out. Yeah, and so today I'm going to, I'm giving some sneak peeks on some of the new products that are in the annual both in the annual catalog and the new online exclusives that will be released for customers in May. If you are a demonstrator, you have access to these now and you can pre-order. A friend of mine, Yolande, she sent me a video of paper weaving, and I watched it and I thought, oh, that's cool. And then I kind of, I don't know, I applied it to our Stampin' Up! Products and just kind of came up with some ideas. But once I flip you around, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about when I say paper weaving. I remember doing it in elementary school where you could make like accordions and fold, or you would like make crisscross. I actually even had, I can't remember where, there was like a clearance at one of the toy stores when they were closing down, and they had like a weaving, it was like nylon string, like ribbons that you could weave and make like baskets. And yeah, so if you've ever made like an Easter basket and woven the pieces, same idea, only we're gonna make some cool backgrounds with paper weaving and our designer series paper. One of the new designer series paper is absolutely like when I saw the weaving, I was like, oh, I want to weave this paper. So anyways, we will get started, and let's get you flipped over here. Oops, don't want to zoom that far in. Let me just try and pull it up here so I can see comments. Comments are always good to see. Let's see, and hopefully won't be as big a leg. Here we go. Okay, I can see comments. Let me just zoom in, oops, a little bit more. What I can see on my camera versus what I see on my screen is different. Weird. That is strange. Let's see. Okay, so it's a little bit better. Let me just bring this down a little bit. Okay, so for the first card, I think I'm gonna save my favorite one for last, even though it's kind of backwards in terms of weaving. No, I'm gonna start with it just because it's basic weaving. So this is the one I had in mind when I looked at the paper weaving. It is called Beautiful Gallery. It is part of a large suite. I think I showed it the other day when I did a sneak peek of my pre-order. And there's some beautiful, like these papers, you could just cut them down to a card size and not need, like they're just so beautiful. And this suite has beautiful flowers that go with it and some frames. Like, it's just all so beautiful. Like, I love this paper. And I don't use designer series paper probably as much as I should, considering the amount that I have. So this paper weaving is actually a fun way to use your designer series paper. All right, so the piece I took to make my paper weaving is this one. And I've got this piece that I'm going to weave it with. This is the new Secret Sea color. It probably, without seeing the other colors, looks like Night of Navy, but it is, it has more green in it, and it's just a really nice dark blue, which I love. It kind of is along the same lines. My wall colors are just a little bit lighter than this, and it just all looks so pretty. Okay, so I have to remember which way to cut this now. I'm surprised I didn't pre-cut. So I'm gonna cut these strips at 3/4 of an inch, if I remember right. I'm gonna go this way because it's easier. And I'm just gonna cut strips. A bunch, and I'm going to keep them in order because I want them to make the picture even though it gets woven. Now they don't have to be exact. All exactly the same because they're being woven and you won't be able to tell the difference. And I'm just gonna, I don't think I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I need 7. Never mind. And then this piece I am keeping because I'm going to use it on my other card. So I've got my strips for my designer series paper cut, and then I need these ones. These ones I'm going to cut at a 1/2 inch. You could cut them the same if you wanted to make an exact grid, which I will show you what that ends up looking like. I need 4 of these to make the size of card. Oh, I think I just cut the wrong piece. I think I cut my my background piece. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna have to cut myself a background piece. Totally messed that one up. Okay, so oops, where's my 1/2 inch mark there? So I've got 4 of those. Let me just grab a piece of, here, I'll pull out, I want to pull out Night of Navy so you can see the difference that I'm talking about. So this is Secret Sea and this is Night of Navy. Like, isn't that crazy? This looks like way more purpley almost This is just a beautiful dark blue. It speaks to me. All right, I think I will go this way. I'll cut it at 4 by 5 1/4. That's my background piece. Okay, now I think I have all my pieces cut. And let me just show you quickly. So if you make, this is still a 1/2 and 3/4, and I started weaving them so that they're stacked right against each other, but I found you couldn't see the flowers well enough. So you don't always have to, there's lots of different ways you can do the weaving. So for me, the easiest is you can just decide, obviously you go 1 up, 1 down, so you can just kind of slide it through. 1 up, 1 down, 1 up, 1 down. I hope this paper is long enough. What did I do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is why I think I cut this the wrong way. 5 1/4. Oh, it's just because it's cut down. So this might be a little more challenging. So what I might do, I find if you weave a couple pieces, it does stay together a little bit easier, and then it's easier to put together, but it's definitely easier to do when your strips are longer than what you need, not just exactly so. So we'll just do these 2 for now. We'll slide this up here, because then it gets tighter as you weave more in. And then we'll do another one just to kind of get it to stay a little bit better. Like so. And this one goes under. There we go. Okay. So we've got the basic gist, and now you can kind of see how it's spread out. You can see the flowers a little bit better. So what I'm going to do to start, I'm just going to start on the top, and I'm going to decide where to glue this top one. And I'm just going to glue, I'm just going to put a dot of glue and put it down. And I want my piece to be straight so that it all sits straight. And I've got a bit of glue pumping out the top. Got a little crazy with my glue. Grab a wet wipe. Okay, let's just wipe that glue off so it's not sticky forever. And then what you want to do is you want to glue the other end, but since this is definitely more difficult than I had planned, and I think what I ended up doing was oh geez, this has gotten, let's line all these up. I think my plan was to put a 1/4 of an inch space. See, this didn't get glued straight. Shoot. Oh, we'll try and fix it. So, or maybe it was a 1/2 inch. Maybe it's a 1/2 inch. So I want a 1/2 inch from here to my next. So if you have a grid paper or a glass mat like this, you can line it up so that it sits just right. So I'm going to glue this one down. So we've got one there, and then this is the 1/2 inch mark here. And then these other ones end up getting glued on the back side. So I'm just gonna flip this over so I can glue these ones down, just so I have a start of a more solid, like I said, it's a little bit, I'm making this more difficult on myself, having not made these, because I cut the wrong piece of paper. My strips, I would suggest cutting like 6-inch strips, not 5-inch strips. How is it that this is crooked again? Oy vase. Well, we're just gonna go with it. It wants to sit like that, so we'll go with it. I might have to adjust when I cut it, but for now, we're gonna go with it. Go with the flow. Whoopsie, see, this one just totally fell out. I want the opposite here. So let's go like that. All right, so then I'm just gonna center these. I'm not gonna worry too much about them being exactly 1/2 inch. I just want them to look centered. So I'm just gonna put a bit of glue here. And the nice thing with the glue is you've got a bit of wiggle room. So there's one. I'll go to the other side. I'm just putting a dab of glue, like you really don't need a lot. And then these middle pieces aren't glued, it's just the ends that are glued. And I'm gonna measure here because I basically want 4 inches, which looks about good. Or you can make the grid and then decide on how to cut it down, which I'll show you my last one. And actually the next one is kind of like that too. Okay. So that was easy and simple, right? Now, the only thing I will say, I'm going to cut this first before I glue the rest down. You will want to glue the Designer Series paper down as well. So I'm going to cut this at 4. I think I'm going to cut it a bit further than 4 because then I can cut this down because they're just slightly off of each other. So I'm going to cut this. So I've got these pieces, whoopsie, cut those pieces. And then I'm going to turn it around so that I'm exactly at 4. And then I'm just going to cut those down so I end up having a nice straight edge. And then, which I probably should have glued some of this down before I tried to cut it because now it's all moving. So the middle ones, if you remember, are not glued down. So I'm going to glue them down now and try and make sure that they're all straight together. Oopsie. Okay, and the same thing again. That one moved. Okay. And then same thing as before, where you can go onto the back side and glue the back side ones. And you can see you could use this either way. Like this is a pretty background as well, more subtle. And then this one, you've got the flowers that you can still see, but it has that interesting weave through it. If you wanted more of the flower, you could make your cardstock weaves smaller. You could go 1/4 of an inch and make them smaller and more maybe, and then you get more of the flower. Oh, I forgot I cut this down to 4, so I need to cut this piece down now. Anyways, I'm going to cut it down to 3 7/8. So basically I'm cutting a 1/16 off of each side, which is a pain because it all gets stuck in the little groove here. But all you have to do is turn it over and dump it all out. Oops, it's still stuck in there. Because if you leave them all, your cuts will start getting really frayed and not so nice. Especially when you've got all these little pieces. All right, so that was the 2 sides. Now I need to do the ends. So I'm gonna go 1/16. Am I 1/16 there? Maybe I should do it over here, so it's not as. So we were at 5 1/4. So we're gonna go. Get rid of that. And we'll get rid of, so we'll go to 5 1/8 here. See, there I frayed. I must have something. It also is hard when, oh, I've got something stuck on my blade. I'll have to fix that, but I'm just gonna trim. Little bits that I have here, making it not so pretty. Then I can glue it down onto my mat here, and I'm going to put glue. So it has a bit of a frame. This suite has a beautiful frame that you could actually put on top of this if you wanted to frame it. But that is my background. And I decided it was so pretty that it really didn't need much more. So what I did was I took the Last Chance Wanted to Say dies. I showed these last week. They are my absolute favorite. If you don't have them, they are discounted. I believe they are still available last I saw. So I cut twice with the background Happy Birthday. I've got a white, and this is the new cloud cover. And I'm going to glue those together. I'm loving these new colors, especially these two. Give me a soft bluey gray and I'm in. Oops. So glue is good because it's slippery, but glue is not good because it's slippery. And if you're too rough on it, there we go. And then I've pre-cut the happy birthday, and I do have adhesive sheet on the back. So it doesn't always cut all the way, and I'm okay with that. Oh, this one comes out because sometimes it makes it easier to peel the backing. And like I've said before, when you peel it, usually the little dots all come off, which is really handy. You don't have to poke everything out trying to get it to stay. And then same with this. Oh, this one didn't come out. Aspen snoring in the background. Okay, and then you just have to stick it down. Isn't that pretty? And then you can just pop it up with some dimensionals. Let's go. I need a mini. Oh. And then just pop it up. If you can get the packings off. Just center it, and then I just put it on a piece of thick white, which would be nice to stock up on, which I did a while ago, since the price is going up, way up in this as well. However, it is out of stock right now. And it doesn't say when it's coming back yet at this point. So hopefully you've got, because this thick white is like the best for card bases. And voila, you have a very simple but looks fancy. I like it. I don't know about you guys. Let me know if you prefer the nice solid flower background or the weave, but the weave is just something different and fun to play with. You can make all sorts of designs. So for the next one, I will do, so the video I watched, I don't remember her name. She did some weaving within a shape. And so I wanted to try that, but I kind of went rogue. I tend to do that. Oh, what can I do with this? Oh, what about this? I'm like, oh, I have this. Okay, so then I took the celebratory sips and cheers and sips bundle. They are from the online exclusives that will be coming out in May. It's a really fun a fun set, a non-floral set. You know, there's so many florals. I added to this, I used the textured notes, and this is the frame that I was talking about from the paper that I just showed. It's from the same suite, the Gallery Blooms, and it has some beautiful flowers within. But we're gonna use the frame in order to do our weaving. So I cut out, let's see, and I used this paper, which I showed the other day. So I've cut out a larger frame in the cloud cover. Oh, I guess I didn't really, I went with, so cloud cover and Secret Sea are my, and I guess basic white are my go-to color combo for this week. But I added whatever kind of went with the set I was using. Then I'm going to use so there was another piece that gets cut out. I don't know where I put it. So there's that piece, and then this is the inside piece. So I kept the inside piece and the outside piece. Now on my original, I used a piece of Designer Series paper from the Celebratory Sips Designer Series paper, but I just found it was a little too busy with the papers I'm using to weave. I chose to weave these fruits and garnishes, I guess. Let me just see. I want to put them in order because, again, you want to be able to see kind of, oops, that's not right. Let's see. I have another piece here. Where's my, I think this goes here, then this goes here, and where does this piece go? This piece goes here? Nope. Here? Nope. Oh, I see the line. Must be, no. Maybe I have the wrong piece. Because this piece doesn't seem to fit anywhere here. Let's see. What about this piece? Does this piece fit? This piece fits. Okay, let's use these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I need these, and then these ones I'm going to use the back side, which are Secret Sea, and then they have a, I don't know if you can see, they have a little bit of a print, but it's very subtle on there. And all I'm going to do for this one is, oh, yes, okay, weave, so if I can go under, over, under, over, under, and over, and under, over, under, like so. Oops, did I must have turned this one around. This one just doesn't quite match. There we go. Okay, that's better. And then you can see when your strips are nice and long, it's much easier to control what you're doing. So now that I've got that all on the go, I'm going to leave a bit of space, but not a lot of space in between. Just enough. You want to be able to see a little bit of it, but not too much. Okay. I've got a little bit of the blue showing here. Oops, I did this wrong again. How do I keep doing that? I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, there we go. Now it's the right way. So, oopsie. Oh my goodness gracious. So you can see it's not the, you know, it's a little bit finicky. And you want to kind of, so you can start if you want. So say I've got this lined up where I want it, about centered. I could glue down my first piece here. I probably even want to glue it to this, just to make it stay better. So I just put a teeny dab of glue. I'm going to line this up, and I'm going to line this up, and I'm going to line this up, and I'm going to, oops, stick it down if I can make it stay. Maybe I didn't put enough glue. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm just going to put a little dab of glue here. Get it lined up. And then I'm going to, since these ones are underneath, I'm not going to glue them yet because that requires flipping it over. I'm going to line these pieces up to be somewhat the same in terms of spacing. Oh shoot, this is glued down. This isn't going to line up perfectly. That's okay. Okay, so now once you've got that, I'm just going to lift it up. And of course everything's moving. So it's a moving target here. So if this is straight and this is straight, then probably good. And then the same with this. Now it's all moving as one piece since I glued that one down, which is nice. I don't have to worry about it moving all over the place. A little bit of glue there, a little bit of glue there, and then this one looks crooked, but it's just because it's not glued down anywhere. So then we're gonna, actually I could probably just glue this one down in the center as well. Get that one centered where I want it. Oh, this one I didn't do a great job of lining this up. What's going on here? How come we are still, oh, we're still completely independent. That's why. Oh no, I thought it was all lined up and now I've kind of, oh well. Silly me. Okay, I'm gonna glue these down now because they're glued and they are what they are. Weaving does not have to be straight. You could actually purposely kind of do some off kilter if you're worried about it not being straight. Like if you're a person that needs it absolutely straight and it'll bother you if it's not, then maybe go for the not quite centered look. Okay, this should be all solid now. All right, we've got a good start. So then instead, like I could have weaved this through, but instead I'm just gonna put it in behind, like so. Yeah, I like this better with the blue. I'll show you the first one I did with the red behind, and I definitely did not. So I'm gonna just take a line here on what I think is the center. I'm just gonna make a line, and then I'm gonna glue this down with the blue side facing forward. And then I'm gonna do the same thing for the other two. And I want the blue to be just over the edge so you can see it like that. Same again, another line. Hopefully you guys are getting some ideas on pulling out some of your papers and playing. Because it's definitely fun to play and come up with different ideas, different patterns. So this was more plain in the front now, so you could actually, but anyways, I'm gonna keep it as is. Then I cut out with the dies, and I fussy cut this. I die cut it to here, and then I fussy cut. This was out of the designer series paper, has cutouts that match the dies, which I showed last week. And so I'm gonna put some drinks here, and then I've got my sentiment, which I cut using the textured, what's it called? Textured notes. So it's the smallest one, and I just stamped cheers, and I'm going to use some white embossing powder and some Versamark, and I put a bit of anti-static powder. Now I'm going to stamp this further over, and you will see why. We'll put some powder on here. Okay, and we will hold it so we don't have to burn our fingers. Heat up the heat tool. Melt that powder. You can see it becomes shiny. It goes from powdery dull to shine. And that's when you know it's melted. And then I'm going to put it in behind here, and I'll pop it up and get it all gussied up. And again, I'm using white as my card base. I don't know why it has a blue. It's like I colored on it or something. So I did, I put this on here, and then I decided how I wanted to trim down. So this blue I trimmed right to the edge, and then these ones I trimmed so that they were kind of zigzaggy. Maybe I should have, hang on, let me just zigzaggy these. So kind of like this, and like this. It's easier to get in on the non-cut side. Okay, and then for these ones, if you want to cut them right on the edge, you can glue this down and then cut them so that you could pop this up if you wanted. I might actually try popping it up, but I'll just show you. I'll show you this one versus the one with the designer series paper. Okay, so pretend this is glued down. And then this is the one with the red behind it. I actually don't mind the red behind it, but I find this is just a little less, I find this competes. I don't know. Let me know what you think. They're both nice, I think. I like the umbrella. I might have to, there's an umbrella stamp and a die cut, which I stamped and die cut some of the designer series paper to make that umbrella. But it had an umbrella, but it was cut off, so I had to make a full umbrella. you know, just a little piecing and parting. So, yeah, that's card number 2. Now this last one I had so much fun with. I never would have thought to do this, but I did come up with a cool way to, or use of our things. All right, so I took the Florals in Bloom, which I believe are from the annual catalog. Let me just move all of this over here. Move these. Move all of this so we have space. Don't need those right now. All right, so oops, we've got a piece of flower here. I hadn't used these yet, but I bought them. They're the Fancy Border. They are in the online exclusives. They are currently available, but I hadn't used them. And when I saw she was cutting some zigzags and stuff through her paper, and I'm like, oh, I have borders. So you could use any of these borders to make different shapes in your paper, and I will show you what I mean here. But before I do, let me just show you. So this is part of the blooms. It has a ton of really cool flowers, which I've cut out and I'm going to use. It's a two bundle suite. So it also has the sweet bloom, which I've cut out, pre-cut my paper, but they're still in there. It has the floral stamp set, and then it has the words, and so this I'm using, and then it has the designer series paper. It's beautiful, flowery. I'm using the back side here, but I'll show you. It actually looks cool. You could use it either way, but there's beautiful florals, which I already showed in my either last video or the video before, if you want to see everything. So I've got some of the designer series paper here. So you could totally use it either way. I think this would be really pretty, but the way, what I've done for my card, I'm using this side. And then I've got a strip of Darling, what's it called? Darling Duckling. I think this is one of the new in colors, along with the Secret Sea. The colors, so sometimes I feel like the 5 colors don't necessarily look super good together, but these ones look so good together. Maybe it's just me. And then I've got a piece for my sentiment. So like I said, I cut out some of the flowers, and I've already colored one of the pieces, and I'll have to color. So these, I cut it all out in white, and I decided to use my blends to color it. You could, if you did it this way, you could use blender brushes, you could use markers, whatever you have to color it, or you can cut them out of colored cardstock as well. So this piece is where I'm going to take this border piece, and I'm going to cut it. And I didn't pull out my big boss, so just give me a sec. I will move all this stuff, and I'll grab my cutting machine here. Show you what I'm doing. All right, whoops. So I've got my platform, I've got my piece of paper, and I'm gonna start with it. How do I want to start? I want to start in the middle. No, I'm going to start on the side here. Okay, and I'm leaving the 2 ends, so it's not cutting all the way through, and I'm doing that on purpose. It makes my weaving life so much easier. Okay, so I've got one one strip there. Then I'm going to turn it around. So I cut it this way to begin. Now I'm turning it around and I'm going to cut it so it's not touching, but it's close enough. And I'm going to put my plate down without it moving too much on me, hopefully. Okay, so then I'm going to go past number 2. And it doesn't have to be lined up perfectly in terms of where the points meet and stuff, but it's close, right? And then I'm turning it around again and giving it another, oopsie. You could tape it down if it's wiggling around on you. Oops, I think I moved it down further, but that's okay. It's all gonna get cut in the end. And then I'm gonna do the same thing here. I'm gonna try and leave about the same spacing that I did on the other one, so it has a similar look. Okay. So you can see that wasn't very hard to do. And now I've got a weaving place, but it's an interesting shape, which is kind of cool. So it's not just your straight strips. I actually thought about, oh no, that would just, ooh. You could cut, like if you had, depending on what paper you had behind, you could cut these hearts out along here and make it, then the paper would pop through. That would be kind of cool, actually. That is a thought. All right, and then I'm taking my paper and I want my lines to go this way. So I'm gonna turn it and I'm gonna cut, let me move all of this. Okay. I'm gonna cut these ones at 3/4 of an inch strips. I guess I could have pre-cut these. I think anywhere, well, you could do any width of strip, and it just depends on the size of your project and the look of the designer series paper that you're using. Some paper lends itself better to, or even the design you're doing. Sometimes it would be better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Funny how I have 7 in each of my, I don't think it was even planned. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 1 more. 7. And then I said before that I was going to use this piece, and I'm going to try and cut it down the center here. And I'm going to use those as well. Okay, so then all you have to do, and I think it's because of the shaped cuts, it looks super cool. So I'm going to go to the top of this. This one is a little bit higher, so we'll just leave it like that. And you're basically just doing your usual weaving technique in and out. So you go opposite each time what you've done. So this one's on top, this one's underneath, and you can go straight up against or you can leave a space. Again, it's totally personal preference or the look that you're going for. You can decide as you go how you want it. And you can see having that extra bit of strips length, it makes it much easier to work with. And it, because these pieces are holding, it makes all of this much easier than before where everything was moving. So let's move all this up to make room for this one. And voila. So if I think the easiest is to glue down the top and the bottom again, and then just kind of line everything up in between. But that's just me. So again, you would just glue everything down like before. These two strips are just added interest. So I decided to go underneath these. You could add torn strips. You could add more shapes of things, or like I said before, you could add like you could add the hearts down here, and then you could add, oh, you could actually even punch out these here. So you have holes, and then whatever you put as your background paper would pop through. You can get as creative as you want. You can just keep going and going. All right, so I added those for interest. Oh, apparently I forgot one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's why. I'm like, I thought it ended the same. And it does. It just, I didn't have enough pieces here. There we go. Now we're golden. Okay, so I glue it down and then I cut it out. So because I was having so much fun with this print and pattern and I really wanted to show it off, I decided to do a 5x7 card. And I'm gonna, since it's already, I'm not gonna bore you with coloring all of these. You can color them whatever color. I'm just gonna show you, I added the yellow strip here. I actually, it's not exactly the same, but I did take the idea for the yellow out of the catalog, which I cannot show you yet. I'm not allowed to show the inside of the catalog, but it was a similar, I think they had used this designer series. Anyways, and then this is the lovely that I cut out. So it's got the, it has the bigger background, which I did in white, and then it has the smaller piece that goes on top, which I did in Secret Sea. And then this is Petunia Pop. This all is part of the stamps, the bundle, so it goes with the die. So you can stamp it or you can cut it out. So here I stamped Have a Lovely Day, and then I just colored all these pieces and parts with my blends. So this is all Petunia Pop, and then I colored this piece with the dark Petunia Pop and some of the Darling Duckling, which came out weird. This was the marker. I don't know, it almost came out like Wild Wheat, because this is actually lemon lime twist, and yet this looks close to that. And then I used Bubble Bath. So you could use one flower, like it's sky's the limit. You can use so many flowers, but isn't that pretty? And then I used, these are part of the suite, I believe. They are the flat pearls in the new in colors. So these are all the new in colors. So you've got the Secret Sea, Cloud Cover, Tiger something, Darling Duckling, and Strawberry Slush, which I forgot to look. I said I thought it was a returning in color, the Strawberry Slush, and now I cannot, I didn't go check my, I didn't have, I've tried, I just reorganized all my cardstock that I have in my drawers, and I do keep retired cardstock, especially the ones I like. And it wasn't in there, but that's not to say I didn't have it. But there was another one called, it was close, but not quite. Anyways, I don't know if it is a returning color or not. I doubt it. Especially in the in colors. Anyways, yeah, they wouldn't do a returning color in the in colors, I don't think. I could be wrong. Let me know if you know. So anyways, there's this card, which I need to finish now. I think this one's my favorite. I really like the idea of weaving with the different cuts. So you could even do like a wiggly cut on these ones and it would have a totally different look, but it's just a background, right? Like you're just kind of making some backgrounds to make it interesting. So like this is just a piece of, like, you know, I didn't stamp it. There was no stamping on this one. It was actually, and I feel like it's quite a standout card. Anyways, hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully that inspired you to do some weaving, because so much fun. Post whatever projects you make. If you do some weaving, I'd love to see them. Tag me or post a picture in the comments. I would love to see it. All right, hopefully you have a great rest of your week and take advantage. Don't forget free shipping for today, tomorrow, and Friday for orders over $100. If you want to go in on a combined order and pick up, if you're in Edmonton, you can let me know. There's the last chance items, and then there's the paper pumpkin refills that are on sale. All right, I think that is everything. Have a great rest of your week. Bye.